Hi, this is Holly Knight. I am a Songwriting Hall of Famer, and you're listening to Tom and Zeus on Shout It Out Loudcast.
Oh, boy. Here we go. This is Simmons. Put that cookie down. Yes. I'm pressing the button. Stockbroker Simmons. Star? Stanley. Is that what he does? Stop shouting. My name is Frehley. He's not what you would call a handsome man. Oh, no. Here come the kiss times. Is that a positive thing? Okay. All right. I'm going to grab me an ice cold mellow alcohol. Why do that to the fan? Stop it. Why? Because fuck them. That's why. What are you talking about? 617-525-08. You do? Hey, fucko. Do you like Kiss? Settle down.
Hello. Hey, what's up there, Kiss Army? Tom and Zeus with another episode of Shout It Out Loudcast. Episode 239. Dee Snider.
Oh, yeah. That's all we're going to say. Dee Snider. Yep.
Yeah. So we won't build this up too much because it speaks for itself. Tom, how you been?
Fantastic. Yes.
Yeah.
I'm living solo again. My son's back at school, so me and the dog living the dream.
Well, Tom, let me tell you something.
All right.
Let me talk to you.
Yeah.
That's the new wrestling guy there that everybody really loves. L.A. Knight. Yeah. Anyway.
Jalika kick?
L.A. Knight. Not L.A. maybe. L.A. Knight.
Gotcha. Okay.
Anyways, he's pretty cool. So you mentioned something about school. So my kid has got all these school events. I had to go to the high school because she's going to be a freshman. I had to go to all these fucking auditorium meetings and parent events and stuff, talking to you kids about the high school. Like we already did it, like an introductory thing in the summer, like the spring, talking about going to school. What's it like? You know, how they organize the classes, all this shit. I had to go again. I had to listen to this person before this interview that we're going to tape with Dee, because I had to go to this event. They make it sound like it's so important. I want to fucking choke punch this fucking lady talking for like 20 minutes. Like we're all idiots. One of the your kid will be facing is body changes, hormones. The other thing is, new friend groups. The other thing was social media use. Are you fucking kidding me? I have to listen to this right now. The fuck? I
actually don't know why you're. I actually don't know why you're surprised by that. That's where public schools are.
Because I haven't had that. Yeah, I haven't had that at the high school level.
Oh, that's where it is.
I'm like, are you fucking kidding me, lady? Yep. And I'm just doing everyone else is being all polite. I'm doing the hands up, like, oh, what the fuck? Are you getting agitated? I'm like offended by the shit that this fucking idiot is saying.
Get ready for it. It's not going to get better. fucking
bullshit. Oh, be careful. My kid might meet up with bad kids and bad seeds. Oh,
you should have raised your hand and said, what about the fact that my daughter's father, meaning myself, does a Kiss podcast and ranks band members' girlfriends and talks about shitting in public places? What about that? Is that a problem?
Excuse me. We're going to be discussing annoying family members and embarrassing family members in a later part of the program. So could you please wait your turn, Kiss Tard? Thank you.
Please hold your comments till later in the school year, please.
We do have an anonymous tip line, and somebody put a tip line in that somebody runs a Kiss podcast.
Look, honey, Kiss Tards.
I figured that was you since you're wearing a Ace Frehley Rules 1978 T-shirt.
Pardon me, sir. Does that say #Ace Cult?
Yeah.
Well, can you explain? We don't really talk about those kinds of things here at school, sir.
Yeah,
sir.
the cult aspect of the school will be discussed later on in the program.
Yeah.
Could you please have a seat?
Yeah, please sit down, sir. Sir.
Anyway, I just had a vent about it. Fucking losers.
Do it.
Yeah. Now, last week, we had a nice, fun conversation about all the producers of the Kiss albums. And people, like, there is a niche amongst Loudcasters that love just those music discussions that we do.
Yep.
And, it's a different aspect versus the interviews like we're doing later or album reviews, but the Kiss music discussions, they love them.
Yep.
And we did a poll on the episode. How'd that go, Tom?
So the poll, as always, has 4 options. The producers, we asked you guys to pick what your favorite one or what the best one was for Kiss. Eddie Kramer, Bob Ezrin, Vinnie Poncia, Michael James Jackson. 50% of you geniuses picked Eddie Kramer, thankfully. 31% picked Bob Ezrin. It seemed like a lot of the comments were giving him some negative points for the elder. Vinnie Poncia at 6%. Michael James Jackson only 13%, but that doesn't surprise me. I knew this was going to come down to Eddie Kramer and Bob Ezrin, of course, the two big guys. Dr. 2, I'm surprised Michael James Jackson is not getting more support here. Yeah, okay. Our guys from home there, Pantheon Podcast, their official Twitter, no love for the Kenny Kerner, Richie Wise power producing duo. Yeah, I mean, we both said that we love that debut album, and Harder Than Hell is a little
Tom, people really enjoyed the fact that I dropped in when you mentioned Richie. I dropped in. Anybody see Richie? Anybody know why Richie did Bobby Lupo?
Anybody see Richie?
Fuck you.
Anybody know why Richie did Bobby Lupo?
I'm going to keep coming back. Okay, I see a lot of boxing memorabilia here. Who's the boxer? You the boxer?
Who's the boxer?
The guy goes, yeah. Are you tough? Tough enough. And he fucking, dude, it is the, I remember when that review came out, and I didn't think anything out there like, this is like the poster child of police brutality. Oh, he walks in the bar, slaps people in the fucking head, kicks them down. And that movie is just, we should do a breakdown of Out for Justice. That movie deserves it.
When we introduced MRC movie review crew, we will do that.
And remember when he's at the bar, for some reason, he goes to the bar and grabs a hot dog and he's like, whose hot dog is this? He's the best.
Our buddy Steve Wright, Michael James Jackson all the way. Wow. Interesting. King Cusano. This was, I don't know if this was before or after the drunk texting, the drunk tweeting. My heart says Vinnie Poncia because he produced 2 albums that are in my top albums of all time. But I agree that Ezrin made the best sounding albums. All right. I'm not going to fight you. I'm not going to fight you there on Vinnie Poncia. I love what he did. Ken in Satan's Service. Bob Ezrin ruined I Just Wanna with that lame breakdown. Yes, you are right. And aside from the intro, Destroyer didn't need some of the crap he put on that, especially that shitty outro. Interesting point there, Ken. I'll give you that.
What's the shitty outro?
So if you listen to Destroyer all the way through at the end, there's a track.
Fucking,
it's called Rock and Roll Party.
I'm thinking he's thinking the outro for Detroit Rock City. I'm like, the car crash?
Oh, no. Aggie Dad and Tiger Grad really enjoyed this one. I've always been a geek for producers and love to hear how producers think and what they get from the bands they work with. My favorite has always been Kramer. Rock and Roll Over, Love Gun gave me that rock Kiss sound. And didn't he produce the 73 demos? Yes, he did.
Yep.
Yes, he did. And that's what we got from Twitter.
On the Book of Face, Jason Warden. Bob Ezrin and Michael James Jackson are my 2. Love, Destroyer / Revenge, Creatures of the Night / Lick It Up. Always wonder what a Bob Rock or Mutt Lange would have brought to the table or what they would have brought out of Kiss. Another gem, my friends. Bob Rock, yes. I wouldn't think that Mutt Lange would work with them because, like, Kiss isn't that big on, like, the dual, I don't know, the...
Mutt Lange would have worked in the late, in the Asylum Crazy Nights, perhaps. But I know, because Mutt Lange, especially with the Def Leppard, the layered vocals and stuff like that.
The backing choruses and the layered vocals. Like, Kiss isn't known for that. Although they were fucking incredible. Just go listen to She and Firehouse. You can hear some great fucking vocals there.
Yep.
Edward Van Buskirk put a photo of Steven Seagal from Out for Justice. Anybody seen Richie? Michael Murphy wants to say, if you guys were real fans of Kiss and knew anything about the band or even lifted a finger to do some modicum of research, this could have been a good episode.
See, I love when people do callbacks to comments. That's great.
Yeah. Ryan, Michael Scott, Spencer Cook, fucking Kulick, fucking Dole, Simmons, Tweed, fucking Stanley,
Ramaswamy,
Chris Cola, fucking Buttafuoco. My number one would be Eddie Kramer for producing the number one Kiss album, Love Gun. Excellent episode, great insight on the album sounds. Laughed out loud with Zeus praising Bob Ezrin as number one. Tom's response, he's all right. You guys rock.
Thanks. Nice.
Adam Nierenberg put a fucking YouTube clip of Sam's. I want everybody here to look at this slovenly boy. Over on our Loudcasters page, Tom. So, Tim Bream.
Think of Stanley here, people, and listen.
Great episode. Thanks for the shout out, too. Eddie Kramer is my favorite Kiss producer. He really captured their sound in the studio and not so live, but he sure made you feel like you were in the middle of a Kiss concert. Not only that, but he recorded the greatest Kiss album of all time, Ace Frehley Solo 78.
Fucking brutal.
I'm in need of love. Oh, yeah. And number two for me would be Michael James Jackson. Number three, Neil Bogart. Dress to Kill sounds phenomenal, and so is underrated when it comes to how it sounds in those deep cuts. Room Service. Tommy, I could use a meal.
Yes, Room Service is fantastic, but I know he's not talking about me.
Yeah. Ugh. America's second favorite realtor in Going Downhill, Joey Romanek.
He's sliding.
Great topic this week. For me, Bob Ezrin has always been my favorite Kiss producer. His 3 Kiss records not only sound amazing, but he's got great performances out of the band. Also, I've never once ironed a pair of jeans in my life.
Well, no, of course he doesn't iron them. He sends them out to dry clean. He's a fancy boy.
Yeah. It's a fancy boy.
He's a fancy boy.
And then he said, I also did some creeping on Tally Faulkner's page. That family Christmas photo is going to be hard to beat. So poor Tally is vacationing in Tuscany, Tom.
What, like Seinfeld? Toscano.
Yeah, and there's no rentals there.
There's nothing. You're telling me I can't get anything?
Nope. And apparently she didn't get to listen to the episode, and she was quite upset because he was saying, I'm in Tuscany with family and 3 kids. I've never taken this long to listen to an episode since your Dress to Kill review. I'm dying. Well, I told her that, you better get to it because we're recording in a little bit and we need your feedback before we can get on to it. She wrote, but I'm scared to listen next to my kids. My mom already liked my vagina comment and I'm mortified.
I love it. Yeah.
It went on, and I mentioned to her, Tom, that she and her husband, Tallywhacker, whatever, Mr. Tally, need to get matching Shout It Out Loudcast t-shirts, and so they can be in the Shout It Out Loudcast merch-wearing part of the competition when they face the Romaneks in the first ever Shout It Out Loud Kiss-Tard Handsome Couple pageant.
I don't know. There's some stiff competition out there. Let me tell you right now.
Yeah. Tina will give her a run for her money, but I said, Mr. Tally will smoke Joey Romanek and his painted on stubble and his ironed on jeans, Bon Jovi jeans.
And his perfectly shoe shine footwear that he wears.
his shoe shine hairdo mix that he puts on like Rudy Giuliani.
I don't know if you heard. I don't shine shoes no more. I know you've been away for a while. I don't shine shoes anymore.
Our mutual friend, Jack Pinocchio, he put some photos together of the Shout It Out Loudcast toy line with the Joey Romanek.
It's like the Woody doll. Yeah.
Yeah. It says, are you in the market to buy a house? And the kid's like, what? It comes with 4 bedrooms and 3 bathrooms.
Joey's busy right now. He's safe. Thankfully, we're recording right now in the middle of the hurricane in Florida, but Joey's safe, and he's currently trying to sell flood insurance to all the people that are down there right now. So,
as long as he saves his hairdo and his hiking gear and his Shout Out Loudcast matching T-shirts, he'll be okay.
I just snorted like a fucking. I'm sorry.
It's all good. It's all good. Our buddy
God.
Josh Brown. Good Lord, guys. Just finished the episode. Joey, I assume Joey Romanek. Buddy, I'm sorry I laughed so hard at your expense. LOL. The whole beginning 20 minutes of the show is just comedy gold. I love Bob Ezrin outside of Kiss, but I've said it before and I'll say it again. I'm not a fan of Destroyer. It's much better live than in the studio. Just too much going on. I love The Elder, but it's crazy for a Kiss record. Revenge is the best outing with Ezrin's hands down, even with all the Ezrin bridges. I love I Just Wanna's breakdown.
Okay.
For me, it's Eddie. He had a plug and play and recording style that Kiss needed. Love Gun, Rock and Roll Over just had a raw kick you in the teeth production they needed after Alive. Did Destroyer take him to better heights? Yes. But I also feel it was just like the first 3 records, not indicative of Kiss's actual sound. That's why I always say Eddie was their best producer.
Love it. Love it. Love it.
Incorrect. Over on Instagram, Junior Vintage. Great episode. I will give the following producers a gift certificate from Chris and Cusano Landscaping for their tremendous work with Kiss over the years. Ezrin, Jackson, Ponce, and Kramer. Over on YouTube, Tom, fellow Shout Out Loudcast female Hall of Famer, Glam Rock Bandit.
Nice.
This episode by title alone had me immediately interested. As someone who is a sucker for this sort of analysis on the behind-the-scenes working of my favorite musicians, and just as expected, this had me totally entranced. Listening eagerly for you guys, reasoning for your rankings, and excitedly hearing you guys analyze each producer's work with Kiss, not just in terms of the sound, but also in context to the era that they happened in the events in history. You guys also helped me put a finger on why Sonic Boom and Monster never stood out to me. I could never describe in words what I thought about it, but you guys summed it up perfectly. I like those albums, but I don't revisit them often. Well, aside from Say Yeah, which is mostly because they played that live when I saw them for the first time, sort of a sentimental thing, you know? Mm-hmm. Also, holy shit, I never thought about how Vinny Poncia produces Peter's solo album and Dynasty were back to back. Zeus is coming with, yeah, I just produced your album, Peter, but you're not playing on Dynasty. Absolutely killed me. Seriously, What an episode. And a killer episode to be uploaded a day after my birthday as well. Yes, I share a birthday with Gene. Hilarious, testing my lifelong attachment to this band. Thanks for the belated birthday presents, Tom and Zeus. Happy birthday, Glam Rock Bandit. You well deserve it. Hope it's a great one. And thank you for being so cool.
Yeah, absolutely. Happy belated birthday. Thank you. Great, great comment.
Eric Krakatoa, whatever the fuck that last part is. Sorry, buddy.
Krakatoa from Yngwie Malmsteen?
That's what I was thinking. Eric Krakatoa? I don't know. Kiss Alive saved Kiss in Casablanca. Kramer also produced their demo, which helped them get signed. He's my numero uno.
Okay.
Marty White, listen up, people. Psycho Circus is so good because I would sneak in after that producer left for the night and remix and re-record everything. This is pretty much what Paul said in his first Kiss book. I believe the title was Kissing Under the Bus, the story of all Kiss saboteurs. Patrick says this episode was horrendous. I mean, shit, Zeus told us it was horrendous about 50 fucking times. Do you even like Kiss? Great show, great topic. Thanks to the honest content.
Wow. Okay.
Tom, over to you, buddy.
All right, let's bang through a couple emails here. Okay, this one comes from Gary Layton. via our website, shoutoutloudcast.com. You can send us messages directly from there, and they come to us in the form of an email. This is regarding Ace. Hey, guys, love the show. I wanted to share this clip with you guys, but didn't want to post it, but it pretty much sums up the night. I knew what I was getting into when my friends convinced me to go to the show in Portsmouth, New Hampshire, because it was only 10 minutes away, but holy shit. I love Ace from 74, 78. I know you guys probably won't agree, but I think he's better than Jimmy Page. That's fun. We'll save that for another time. His solos on the first few albums are melodic, tasteful, and just sick, nasty, but that was another time. I'm glad I went because his band was great. I like the way they could do little interludes so Ace could go take a piss. And when he fucked up, they knew how to follow him and basically fix his mistakes. I'm also glad I went because judging by the way he looks, he's not going to be around much longer. Jesus Christ. Thank you, Gary. So piggybacking on that, we got some DMs from a couple of listeners. I won't give their names in case they don't want the Ace cult coming after them. But we had some people sending us multiple video clips and audio clips and kind of on the spot reporting about just how horrendous Ace's shows in the New Hampshire area were, which Zeus and I did not go to. Just how he was just really sloppy and all over the place. The band had to pick him up and he'd kind of drag him through the show. And it was just kind of really, really sad. A lot of the comments weren't even like funny. They were more just this is pathetic. But anyways, we got an email here from our buddy Backpack Brad Rustover from the Slamfest podcast. Fun episode, guys. Great overview of the production throughout Kiss's catalog. Here is my best and worst producer. He has Kenny Kerner and Richie Wise last because of what they did pretty much on Harder Than Hell. Pretty much saying it's lackluster production skills. Number one, he's got Bob Ezrin. When I started listening to podcasts, I was shocked to hear that so many diehard fans disliked his production on Destroyer. I never got that. Nothing compliments Kiss's over-the-top image, persona, and stage like Bob Ezrin's over-the-top production. It's a perfect match. While music from the album was a miss, the production of the album was well done. And what better way to respond to the glossy 80s production of Crazy Nights and lack of production on Heart in the Shade than with a well-arranged punch-in-the-face production of Revenge, by far their best-sounding non-makeup album. I won't disagree with you on that. I talked about that in Revenge. But great thoughtful email as always from our buddy Brad. And we'll wrap up feedback with this one from our longtime friend and big-time fan in Finland, Jani Aslak Rasanen. Apologies for the pronunciation there, my friend. Being a Destroyer guy, I have always agreed with Kiss on the topic of best Kiss producer. It's Ezrin for sure. If we step out of the world of Kiss tards, one which we, all the listeners and you journalists, live in, Destroyer is the closest to a universally classic album. This is simply because it possesses the element that was, and to an extent still is, missing from Kiss: finesse in songwriting and musicality. Ezrin brought that in, or at least he tried to. Now, we all love Kiss like we love wrestlers or hockey players. But what separates acts like Eagles, Bowie, or Zeppelin from the Kisses and Slades of the world is the artiness and ability to include layers in songwriting and lyrics. I think Ezrin tried to do the same to Kiss that he successfully did to Alice Cooper. Raised the level of musicality and laid some layers to previously pretty one-dimensional output and cleared out some of the messiness in sonics. My guess is that Kiss could have elevated to the next and uppermost A level if they had done a successor Destroyer with Ezrin. But as we all know, the band freaked out and went running back to the garage to sing about their dicks to make sure they will always stay at B level in the eyes and ears of rock and roll historians. I love the New York Dolls, Bowie, Aerosmith, Zeppelin, and of course Kiss, but at the never-ending universal rock and roll party, there will always be a certain velvet rope that will separate Kiss from those other acts mentioned. Instead of hanging out with, let's say, The Doors or Hendrix, they'll hang out with Whitesnake. Great discussion and episode. P.S. Love the hockey talk with Brent Fitz. Fantastic analysis, Yanni, even if I don't agree 100% with what you said, but I love the analysis. Very, very great points there. Again, even if I don't agree with them. But Jani Aslak Rasanen from Finland, my friend, you are the comment of the week.
Yeah, him and our good friends Irho Vaikananian, Rejo Rutsalanian.
Yeah,
and,
Teemu Salani.
Yes, Yari Curry. We can go on and on. Sebastian Aho. Oh, so many great Finnish hockey players. Plus, you have the hottest politician in the whole fucking world, Sanna Marin. And if you get her to come on our show, you'll be my favorite Kiss tart of all time. That analysis is so, to me, spot on, fucking brilliant.
It is brilliant.
Because of the sophomoric type of music and lyrics, Kiss will always be put in the lower kind of, he's right, like the White Snakes won't be thrown into Zeppelin and other higher critical bands because of the lyrics and stuff.
Yeah.
Although the music is just as good and just as fun. Same thing with Kiss. So they ran running back to do the simple, like, let's fuck everything and stupid sex shit and easy, simple chords and all that other stuff. And then they run back and then they try something way above their pay grade, which is a concept album, which they failed because they went too far. And then they come back and do a kick-ass, one of the best metal, like hard rock metal albums of what, early 90s, late 80s, and Revenge. And that's all because of Ezrin. What I think Eddie Kramer does is he gets the best out of what Kiss is. But Ezrin brings them up to a higher level.
In my opinion, the reason why I'm not saying Ezrin is not a good producer. The reason I don't like him with Kiss is because he turns Kiss into a band that they're not. They're not the band that's on Destroyer.
But they could be that because they could be better than what that simple shit that they.
I don't want that. I like.
Why? I want fucking Revenge. I want Destroyer. I like The Elder. I want that shit. I don't have a problem with it.
But you have it. We have it all.
Yeah, I'd like to have had more of it.
No.
Yes.
I'm good.
Yes.
I'm good.
Yes.
Destroyer's
Yes. That's it. We're fighting.
I can't wait until we review Destroyer. Oh God, I cannot fucking wait. Cannot wait.
All right, Tom. So what we do next is we give a shout out to our Patreon listeners. Patreon is a family that help and contribute to the show. So our podcast, in order to grow, we need some help out there. And then Patreon comes along and the Patreon members support the show. There are 4 different tiers people can choose from, and they can choose which number and tier they want. Check them out. They all have different things that we offer. So you support us with your financial contribution in one of the 4 tiers, and then we support you guys back with either merch, input, or videos, or data, or our message boards, all sorts of stuff. The Patreon family has been vital since day one. So if you like our show and you want to contribute, you want to help us out, please go to patreon.com, go to Patreon, the app, look for creators and type in Shout It Out Loudcast, or go to our website, shoutitoutloudcast.com. Right on the website, you'll see the Patreon button. Click that. You'll go right to Patreon. Take a look. Come support your friends over at Shout It Out Loudcast and be part of the family. We love our Patreon family, and we thank you for all your support.
Yep. As always, guys, thank you so much. The Patreon family continues to grow, and we're so grateful for all of the support that you guys continue to give us. So please check us out. Go to our website, click on the Patreon link, or go to patreon.com, download the app, look us up, and please join the family.
Yeah, Tom, what we do next is we go over to Kiss World and try to find out what's going on there. Anything?
All right. Well, Paul Stanley confirmed what some of the rumors were, what the End of the Road opening band will be. And it is a band called Amber Wild, fronted by his son, Evan Stanley.
Yeah,
Thoughts?
we talked about this a while back when some of our listeners gave us the hint, wink, wink. We mentioned Evan Stanley in a tweet, and they got a whole lot of fucking kickback. Yeah. Well, it's true. I don't have a problem with it. I don't, because I look at the alternative. The fucking painter or nothing.
Well, that's the problem right there, is that shouldn't be the alternative, especially when you start getting into what we talk about with Dee coming up and what Gina said about Rock is Dead. Rock is dead because you're not putting a fucking opening band on your tour. Yeah,
but like, even so, like, honestly, do I really care about him, about the new act? So let's say
You care about Paul Stanley's son? I don't.
He might be good. I don't know. Dude, I love Paul Stanley and his music.
So do I.
So maybe his son is a pretty decent version. I don't know. I mean, I'll give him a chance. I'll listen to him. At least I'll be interested in hear what he sounds like. But all I'm saying is, like, let's say
agree. I'll be interested.
A band like I don't know who did they have open up for them in Europe for a little bit?
Skid Row. Like,
if it was Skid Row, yeah, I'd be interested. But I mean, is there really anybody's like, I want to see Kiss? Oh, Skid Row's opening up. I'm going. Nobody fucking gives a fuck. Let's be honest.
Oh.
The only thing an opening band can do is fucking hurt you when you put up a fucking.
No, I agree.
If you put up the wrong band, like a fucking Painter.
Right.
But some can help you if you're not that big of an opening act. Dude, it's Kiss on their final leg. People are going to see Kiss. They're not going for the opening band.
No,
it's
I get it.
Like
I
they're
just think
touring in 2012.
No, I know. It doesn't necessarily bother me. I just think it's incredibly tacky at the same time. It's such a Paul Stanley move. It's just such a Paul Stanley move.
Yeah, in this sense, if Gene says, "Hey, I want to have Nick open up."
Yeah, exactly.
Would he be so cool about it?
No.
But you know how it is. In order for the music to continue,
I know.
Paul
you have to appease Paul.
And
yeah,
you think, Gene's probably like, interesting. Okay.
Yeah.
He's probably biting his tongue saying, you know what? I'm not going to fucking push on this shit.
He's biting his tongue because he's counting down the last 4 months and then he can fucking move on with the rest of his life.
Can't wait to hear the Gene Simmons band. I love to see them.
Oh, fuck yeah. Me too. Some other really, really awesome stuff. And you've seen it all over our social media and all of our other people's social media. Peter Criss played at a beauty ball presented by a foundation for cancer care back in a couple days ago in New Jersey. Obviously, people know that Peter Criss suffered a bout of breast cancer, which is incredibly rare for men. He was there performing in, suit and tie, looking like a classic jazz drummer. Really, really, really warmed my heart to see this. I love Peter, and I know that those are his roots, playing with that jazzy stuff. He looked fantastic. He's old, obviously, but he looked great, sounded great. They gave out an award. They actually have a Peter Criss Man of Courage award, which is actually really cool. So just some really nice positive stuff with Peter in the news, and just seeing him playing those drums and doing what he loves to do with that classic jazz stuff was really neat.
Yeah, Tom, I will tell you, I love hearing how much you loved it because you're not even the Peter guy.
Right.
But if it touches you and you love the band, and Peter's not even your favorite guy, but it moves you to see it. And I feel like he's handling all this Kiss drama in the last few years like a fucking saint.
Yep.
Keeps his mouth shut, shows up, appreciates the fan, and you see a genuine happiness when you see him out there, these events. Happiness that you just really don't see much. Except on Gene on occasion.
That's right.
Right? I mean, does Ace seem happy to you to be
Ace doesn't seem alive. I don't even know if he's capable of emotion right now. So forget about being happy.
Picture up of him on the
Scott
couch.
Brown.
Ambassador Scott
Brown, former guest.
Loudcaster. Yeah.
Former guest.
He saw him because he performs all the time. He's got a band. I think it's Scott Brown, the Diplomats, they call. They always play in Hampton, in New Hampshire. Yep. And he's always like, come up and see me when I play. Come up and see me. We're like, yeah, we'll see you when we get a chance, Ambassador. But he put a photo of him and Ace. Ace is on the couch with him, Tom.
It's weekend at Bernie's. There's no way Ace Frehley is conscious in those photos. There's no way. Go on Scott Brown's social media, because I think this was after the Portsmouth, New Hampshire show. Ace Frehley looks like a corpse.
Yeah, we put it on our Loudcast.
Yeah.
I shared it to our Loudcast. Oh, Ambassador, wake me up when the show is over. Holy shit. I went too many cashews. I got to take a nap.
Looks like he washed up on the shore of the beaches in Portsmouth. I mean, it's brutal. See, you know what I love about this? I love how we can't even talk about a positive Peter Criss story without veering off into Ace World.
Well, it's just that all I was saying is like when Peter makes his careful appearances.
Very careful,
and,
yes.
And the thing I want to add is his wife gets shit but his wife fucking loves and respects Peter and wants to put him in the best light possible. And she's done an excellent job at it. So, I'll give a hand clap to Gigi because she loves Peter and wants to make sure he's at his best when he makes appearances for his fans. On the other hand, you got fucking Ace schlepping on a couch, looking half dead, playing like shit live, and they're putting all these videos up on him. Like, come on, guys, help the guy out. Make him look better. He shouldn't look this bad to all of us.
And you know what's funny talking about this is that we get into this with Dee about guys going out. We'll get into that, but it's an interesting bit of news to talk about based on what we talk about with Dee later.
We talked about this in this sense too, Tom, when I was mentioning to the Elvis movie and Elvis and my hatred towards Colonel Parker. Just fucking throw him up there. That man is going to get on that stage tonight. I don't give a fuck what condition he is.
Yep.
That's what I feel like sometimes, unfortunately, Ace is going through. They're just throwing him up there, not caring about his legacy, that he's not at his best.
Well, not caring about him. Forget about, not caring about him.
Yeah, and it doesn't look really healthy. He just doesn't look they got to change what he does or the schedule. He comes out and smiles, throw a couple picks, play a couple solos, and move on. It shouldn't be what he's doing now. It's too tough on the poor guy, and we want to see him succeed. We don't want to see him fail. So, anyway, Tom, let's take a little break.
Okay.
Let's I'm going to go in your backyard and wake Ace up because he passed out in the tool shed over the weekend. Oh, shit. Do I have to leave New Hampshire today? Oh, Christ. I miss my bus. Oh, fuck.
All right, so we're back, and we are going to have a little problem here because I haven't told you this yet, but I am getting a new shed built in my backyard, a bigger shed with more space that I've been waiting to do for quite some time. The problem is Ace is asking the contractors if he can put some kind of bunk bed in there because he's thinking this is a spare room for him.
Hey, so when I'm in the New England area, Tom, I'm going to use your place. I'll sublet it out to a couple friends like Pepe Castro when he comes through the New England area.
I talked to your construction guys. I have to ask if they can maybe throw one of those Murphy beds, just flip it down, move the fertilizer over to the side, pull the bed down. Ace will be fine. Roll over the snow blower, take out some of the pesticides and fertilizer. You'll be good to go.
I'm going to bring my record player over. I'm going to play some albums from Cream, the Led Zeppelin.
Look over. I see Ace. He thinks he's grabbing a handful of cashews. Ace, that's Scott's Whedon feed. You can't be eating that. It's not good for you. It's a little salty. I thought there was a problem.
I asked for unsalted cashews. These ones are a little too sweet and tasty. Oh, jeez. Anyway.
Oh, God.
Yeah, people
like, what the fuck is going on right now?
Dude, we can entertain ourselves with these Ace skits all day long.
Sometimes
it's so fucking stupid.
Sometimes we forget there's a show.
It's so stupid. We know it's stupid.
Uncle Ace.
Yeah. Anyway, guys, we were fortunate enough to get Dee to come on our show. It's an honor and a pleasure to have him on. He's got a ton of opinions on everything. We wanted to hear it. We wanted him on. And listen, we're not lying. We're not over-exaggerating. He shares his opinion about a lot of stuff. We don't want to hype this up too much, but you're going to really like this.
Absolutely. Get ready for this one, Dee Snider. All right, big guest this week on Shout It Out Loudcast. When there's strong opinions that you want to hear, you usually hear them from me and Zeus, but we need somebody with a stronger opinion, and it's the great man. You know him. You love him. Twisted Sisters frontman is here, if you can believe it. Dee Snider. Welcome to Shout It Out Loudcast, brother.
I really wonder why I do these things, honestly, because every time I do an interview, particularly when I do one with a Kiss, the next day it's like my Google alert blow up, and I'm being quoted, misquoted. I've set fire to the universe once again. Dee Snider said, like, does it really matter what I say? Who cares? But clearly people do. So here I am, ready to stick my foot in my mouth again. Let's do it.
Yes.
That's why you're here, brother. People want to hear what Dee Snider thinks about everything, especially Kiss. So let's fire away here. Zeus.
Yeah. So
Well,
go ahead.
I want to qualify. I do this every time. I own the first 7 Kiss albums.
Perfect.
I was waiting for the first Kiss record to come out. I'm from Long Island. So in Rock Scene magazine, I was hearing about this band in Queens. I'm in Nassau County. We border each other. This band called Kiss. And I remember seeing the first showcase, a picture in the magazine they did, where they had a rising drum platform and the makeup, and Alice Cooper was there. And, he said they really need a gimmick was his, quote, but it was their showcase. Yeah. So I've been following them from day one. I was one of the first to buy the first Kiss record. I have the first 7 albums. So I like Kiss. I love Kiss. So when I say something that is anti-Kiss, it does not come from a place that's someone who is a Kiss hater. No, it comes from a Kiss fan. I just want to say that.
Absolutely.
Everybody will completely forget that. Not you guys, but the listeners, they'll dismiss that. But I'm just saying, first 7 records, day one Kiss fan, seeing them in concert. I remember actually going to see them. I was like 3rd, 4th row, and I'm watching them. And Twisted Sisters, we're coming up, and I'm like, going, yeah, you know what? These guys will give me a run for my money. These guys are good. These guys are good. They give me a run for my money. So, I mean, they're amazing live, amazing records. Let's go.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Now, it's funny because our mutual friend, Eddie Trunk, always has the same. He's been on here a bunch of times with us. Same thing that he says. Every time I say something, I'm a fucking Kiss fan. And everything gets taken. Yeah. And he says the same
thing. And the band Peter and, not Peter, Paul and Gene, they get indignant.
Oh, yeah.
If somebody speaks against, they think it's against them. It just contradicts something they say or disagrees with their opinion. It's like, you've committed a cardinal sin. It's crazy.
Well, that's what happens with us. We're one of the few Kiss podcasts out there that we always like to say we don't give them foot rubs. We have no problem picking apart what Paul and Gene do and say and everything. And that's why we're just thrilled to have you on, because you'll make us look like super fans potentially.
But that's all right. That's all right. Now, I'm curious though. Do you have when you saw them and you got their first 7 albums, did you have a favorite member that that's my favorite guy? That's my guy.
Oh, I definitely think Gene, I mean, while my makeup was very Tim Curry inspired,
yes,
but I saw, Gene's eyes going up and making the faces and stuff. So credit where credit is due, but full credit where credit is due. And this is something Gene does not like to talk about too much. When I was reading those first Rock Scene magazines, those first Cream magazines, one of the first things he said was, I'm a big fan of Marvel Comics.
Yeah.
And I get my moves from the comics. So he likes to claim inventing the horns. He ain't throwing the horns. He's shooting webs, baby. He is shooting spider webs. That's what he does. Look at his pictures. Yes. Spider-Man. So there's no thumb. He had to use a thumb to press to shoot the webs. Okay. So anyway, and I am a huge comic fan. So I was like reading this, like when you're looking up to other bands, you're looking for some commonality. You have it.
Oh, sure.
So when I was an Alice Cooper fan, just like Gene's, Kiss is. And, and Alice liked Broadway shows. I like Broadway shows. Like to me, that was like a small connection. And when Gene said he got his moves out of Marvel Comics, I was like, I like Marvel Comics. That's where I got my, Sal, Buscema. All those faces I make. Marvel Comics, man. That was the heroes.
Yeah.
Those are awesome. That's great. Now, we know you were on that Kiss tribute album.
Pure Fire.
You did Detroit Rock City. Is that your favorite Kiss song? Just curious.
I was asked by the late Bob Kulick, who put that record together.
Yep.
Great. He did so many great tribute records,
Yes, he did.
Got a chance to sing with people I never would have worked with. It's just amazing some of the people I got to play with and the tribute records I got to do. But he asked me if I would do Detroit Rock City, and it is one of my favorites.
Yeah.
But going back to record one, get up and get your grandma. Here. I mean, come on.
There you go.
I mean, that chills. I'm getting chills. First, I put that record on. I heard that. I was like, whoa, whoa, this is cool. This rocks. That statement in and of itself is just so powerful. Get up and get your grandma out of here. You know, I mean, it's for us, you know, amazing. So that's really, I got to go back to the first album for some of my real faves.
Yeah. And it reminds me of the old Chuck Berry. You know, when he's talking about roll over Beethoven and get Tchaikovsky, like that's the kind of statement. Okay, get your grandma out of here. So
my daughter's a super hardcore metal fan, but she's starting to go back and look at stuff. I mean, really go back. I mean, she's so black metal, death metal, but she's been listening to Beatles, and she goes, they have a song called Roll Over Beethoven. And she goes, are they talking about? I said, that's Chuck Berry's song. She said, I thought it sounded a lot like Run, Run, Rudolph. I said, all of his songs sound like Run, Run, Rudolph.
He's a little like AC/DC like that.
Yeah. And he said, is he talking about Beethoven rolling over in his grave? I said, yep, that's what he's talking about. And that's exactly that statement, man. That's
badass shit. Did you have a favorite of the albums? Would you say, because I think you just mentioned the first album you really gravitate. Would you say that's your favorite album?
You know, no, and I don't think some people say live records shouldn't be allowed, but Alive One was like an awakening.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, that packaging, opening up that cover and looking at those pictures, seeing more than just one shot, but sort of getting more of a feel for what this band was doing live with the fire and everything like that. Yes. And hearing those songs. And we all know that wasn't live, but of
course.
It was live enough. The vibe was live. The energy was live. They did a great job. And that record just sort of dialed it all in for me.
Yeah.
Tom.
So it's funny when we started this podcast a couple of years back, and it came perfect timing with the start of the end of the road tour, which was probably supposed to end, but thanks to COVID, it's now been pushed on into infinity.
I call it end of eternity, but go ahead.
I'm going to call it the fart in a paper bag tour.
So Dee, recently you commented on how you do a lot of interviews and your quotes end up on Blabbermouth and Loudwire, but you did have a quote that made Zeus and I chuckle, and you said, quote, I see people singing Crazy Nights and they're not so crazy anymore.
Well, okay. Yes, I said that as the exact words, and you know exactly what I was talking about.
Exactly.
And I was talking about why the start of this Q&A was, why are you retiring?
Yeah.
And, you know, and I said, I want to walk away, leaving people with a positive memory of the shows they've seen me do. Mm-hmm. And I don't want to be a shadow of my former self. To which I did say, I saw on YouTube a band singing Crazy Nights, and they weren't so crazy anymore. But it was true. I was kind of stunned. Yeah. I was kind of stunned because, damn, you know, I said right in the beginning, I remember seeing those guys going, these guys give me a run for my money. What an egomaniac I was in my 20s. But at the same time, but they were aggressive and they were all over the place. And you didn't know who, it was a 4-ring circus. You didn't know who to look at first. You remember those shows? And it's such a far cry from that today.
Yeah.
And not just them, so many bands that have overstayed their welcome. So many bands have overstayed their welcome. And you compare them back in the day, you compare them now in their 60s. No, you can't compete with yourself, that crazy energy you had in your 20s. So, but at the same time, why not leave people with a great memory? Why not leave people wanting more? Why take it to all the way to the bitter end?
Do you think? Hold on one second. Do you think that if they're gonna continue to tour like they have, and they're selling tickets and people go, do you think the fans hold some responsibility for keeping these bands going? That they keep buying the tickets, they keep going, and like Zeus and I say, how can we miss you if you will never go away? They're never going away because they're still selling tickets, right?
Well, you know, And now I'm eminently a fair person. And so when someone makes sense to me, I'm always willing to say, wow, I didn't think of that.
Yeah.
And fair enough. And I acknowledge that. So someone said to me, because I really like to rant about Tommy and Eric, wearing.
Yeah, well, we're going to get to that.
We're going to get into that.
But somebody said, but they're my Kiss.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm younger. I didn't have Ace and Peter. This is the Kiss that the first Kiss I saw. This is my Kiss. And I had to not recognize, I got that. I got that when someone said that. Okay, fair enough. I get it. I still disagree with the idea. I loved Eric Carr having his own makeup thing going and, coming up with an original makeup look for new guys. I thought that was the way to go. Wearing Ace's and Peter's makeup is just sinful, in my opinion. And I don't think Eric really likes doing it, quite honestly. I think he hates putting it on every day. I think he hates being a brunette. He's a natural blonde and he has to be a brunette. All of the brunettes want to be blondes. I think that's the one thing I said. And you said, to your point, there are many people who never got to see Kiss.
Right.
So they can't be the show I saw in 1977 at the Nassau Coliseum with the show I'm seeing today. Their only reference point is 2023. That's their Kiss show. And they thought it was amazing.
Yeah.
And it was a memory. It was amazing. So, who am I to judge,
Yeah, it's become more of an entertainment factor rather than you go for the concert and the music. Now it's a show, just like you would go to a Vegas act. You go for the show. You're not going to sit there and nitpick. Well, is he singing live? Is it? People have gotten past that nowadays, and they're there for the bombs, someone shooting something with the guitar. And it's just to distract from the fact that they can't do the shit they were doing in 77.
But then again, in the fairness category, I went to see Frankie Valli in the Four Seasons. All right. And I'm a huge Four Seasons fan. I'm an old guy and I grew up in, 50s and 60s. And, so I had to choose between joining Twisted Sister or a doo-wop band. They both offered me a gig at the same time. And I was like, I do like doo-wop. But I don't want to have a DA. So I'm like in third row center. Frankie Valli's out there, 100 years old. Yeah. And I am leaning in, man. I'm leaning in going, I don't think that's his voice. And I really like 15 minutes in, I go, what a dick. What a dick.
Right.
The guy's up there. This is one of my heroes. Really pick him apart if he's not singing exactly every word and every note's not perfect. What a dick I am for acting like that. So, again, back to this is, for some audiences, this is their Kiss. And if this is the only way they can get it with tapes running and all that stuff, they seem to be fine with it. We're not, because we didn't grow up on that. We grew up on the real deal, man. And it was something.
Yeah. That is such an incredibly, with all due respect to the people out there that wave the flag for it, it has become an exhausting topic on social media. So-and-so from this band disagrees with tracks. And like, who's asking this guy? And why don't we care what
in a perfect world, nobody's doing tracks in a perfect world. But here's where our point is. And so we talked about this on an episode we've done recently. We had a conversation about farewell concert. And I was the point that I was trying to make is there are no big rock bands filling out stadiums other than really Metallica and maybe Foo Fighters that have taken over the spots that were held by other bands. So when the Beatles and the Kinks and all those 60s bands left, all of a sudden huge headline bands came out. U2, Kiss, Twisted Sister, you name it, whatever came out and took their spots. Then grunge came and then they died. But who has come up to take their spot? There aren't anybody. So what is the big Ticket Masters and Live Nation going to do? They're going to give money and say, hey, Eagles, I know you guys are fucking half dead, but we will pay you $100 million. Here's this money. Don't worry about the seats. We know we got that covered. Yep. Here's your money. Come back and do another round of tours, even though you've done 3 since you said you retired and since Glenn Frey died. And it's a travesty you're still doing Eagles music without him. But what are they going to say? No. If there were other rock bands that came up, they'd be like, I'm not bothering with the Eagles. I can pay this band. and get them out. But nobody is taking over because rock is dead, because everybody killed it with pop and hip hop and all that shit. Nobody gives the rock, the genre, the love that it used to get in dominant.
Okay, that's you're glad you clarified that, because the rock is dead thing could be very upset, especially when Gene said it.
I'm saying in context of sales, not because there isn't people playing it.
Right. And it's a frustration. It doesn't get the attention.
No.
It doesn't get the love. But if you go to the smaller venues, if you go to the right festivals, you will see passionate bands on that stage playing their hearts out for thousands of people at these festivals, hundreds in these smaller venues, singing every freaking word. The passion and the love is there. It's just the exposure is not. Everything's so marketed now. You don't know about new bands because you only hear about it if you show any kind of interest in that type of music. So you'll get notified and you'll get contacted. You don't have that crossover exposure that creates rock stars. Yeah. I remember going back, and I don't know how old you guys are. I'm not looking to ask.
50.
I'm okay. Before your time, there was Grand Funk Railroad. They're not before your time, but Grand Funk Railroad had a new album came out. They had a massive billboard in Times Square. While it was up there, the Billboard Union had a strike. Mm-hmm. That billboard was up for like a year.
Wow.
And everyone in New York City knew who Mark, Don, and Mel were. Grand Funk Railroad. They didn't know what they did. They knew what they looked like. We all knew their names. And because that was how you communicated, not you had to sort of splash market and try to hit the rock fans, but you got it to people who weren't rock fans as well. So they were exposed to what was going on. Now, target marketing, it's just, there are big bands out there, very popular bands in the rock world, but like Falling in Reverse.
Yep.
Okay. If you know that, my daughter says they're massive. They'll play Download. They'll headline a day at Download. Nobody knows them.
Yeah.
Nobody knows Ronnie Radke.
Dee, I just last month I just went to see Avenged Sevenfold with one of my friends. They played at like an outdoor shed, 18, 20,000 people. I told my friends from work where I was going. They all looked at me like they're like, well, "Who's that?" Right. They've been around for 20 years.
And they're really they got the tail end of that, still getting that exposure, because 20 years ago there was still that going on. So they benefited from that. These later bands, Black Veil Brides. Yep. I was on a show with and Andy was Balsek from not Balsek, Biersick, from Black Veil Brides was with us. And I said, this guy, and I was sitting with a few other notables. I said, this guy has 1 billion followers. This guy's better known than any of us up here, but not like to the general world.
Yeah,
he's got a gazillion followers in his world, but crossing over, he could go anywhere and nobody knows who the hell he is.
Well, I think it's funny too when we talk about this because obviously Kiss, their images, T-shirts, whatever. And you see this on social media, young girls or young guys wearing, Kiss or Black Sabbath or Twisted Sister T-shirts. But, can you name one song? No, but I like the shirt. In my mind, I'm like, you know what? I'm glad you're wearing that shirt because maybe it'll get you into anything that will open the door to get you to like Kiss. Is that's what I want.
You know what? I've got into that with people as well and got people upset with my opinion on that. On the horns, people throwing horns, people using the term rock star like it's, and also the T-shirts. But somebody said exactly what you said. Better, they're wearing it. Better, people are looking at it and going, who is that? Or I wonder who that is, and maybe exploring. Right. And I know my granddaughter, who's 14, she'll wear a shirt, says if she gets a shirt, she makes sure she listens and knows at least 2 songs.
Right.
So
there you go.
Someone said, but it's open rise. And she went from being a pop princess, all of a sudden, thanks to Stranger Things, Eddie playing Metallica at the end. Yeah. Yes. All of a sudden I'm going, what's on your playlist? Metallica? And all of a sudden she's, falling in reverse and she's starting to pick up AC/DC and Ozzy and all. I'm going, this little pop princess, she's being saved somehow. And then you go, my God, there's so many movies like Galaxy Quest and TV shows like, I'm blanking out, John, what's his name, plays superhero from Suicide Squad. Anyway, but they're playing all this 80s music and Cobra Kai. And there's so many
Cobra Kai,
that are still pushing the 80s music. And it's crazy. It's crazy. And younger people are getting exposed. So it's still holding on. And then you come back to what you said. Clear Channel offers $100 million for whatever they offered for the stadium tour. Yeah. Gazillion dollars for these 4 dinosaurs to go out there. Yeah.
That's a great segue. Circling back to Kiss and speaking of dinosaurs.
Yeah.
Because a very, very
People, I'm a dinosaur. I'm allowed to call them dinosaur.
Yeah. A very, very hot button topic on this show where we get a lot of hate, and we've created a term. We call them the Ace cult.
Yes.
Because we love Ace Frehley. He is currently touring. And it is making it to your point, Dee, when you were in that interview, it's making us sad to see this guy dragging his ass out every night and looking terrible and sounding terrible. Are you aware of Ace's touring? Have you seen anything online? His videos, YouTube? Because it's really, this is really bad.
No, I haven't. But to your point.
Yeah.
There was a review I read, and it was a positive review of when Twisted Sister first reunited.
Okay.
But it started out by saying, when a reunion is good, it makes us feel young again.
Yes.
And when it's bad, it makes us realize how old we've gotten.
Yes. Well said.
And I wish I knew who the guy who wrote that was, who said that, because I've quoted it so many times. But, when we got up there and I kept going into my 60s, and I was in shape, and I wanted to make sure, and I would see those ear to ear smiles. I'd see dads elbowing their kids, pointing like that, going, that's what I'm talking about. That's the memory I wanted to leave. I've stopped a couple of years ago. I stopped because man's got to, what did Clint Eastwood say in Dirty Harry? A man's got to know his limitations. I saw the stuff starting to go, and I said, I don't want to be up there and see people going, he used to be really good. Or like you said, it made me sad to watch him. Made me feel old. It makes you feel old when you watch your heroes get old.
But again, circling back to what I said about Kiss, people are buying tickets. So where's should these artists, respect their fans and go out like you did and go out with a positive memory? Or should they just keep going until they stop selling tickets, until people stop buying? What do you think the answer is, if there is one?
Well, in total honesty, stopping was more for me than for them.
Okay.
It's an ego thing.
Sure.
But that's being totally honest, that I don't want the ego blow. I don't want the moment of Mike Tyson crawling around on all fours trying to find his mouthpiece after Buster Douglas knocked him out. Buster Douglas, who the hell was that? I remember being at a party going, what just happened? I
remember it that day too. We all did. It's where were you that day? I know exactly where I was.
How about those film clips of Babe Ruth traded to the Atlanta Braves, I think it was, hitting and walking slowly around the bases because he couldn't even pretend to run anymore. He was in such bad shape. So there's an ego thing that says, I don't want to be people to see me like that. But also, again, for the audience, I think they deserve the positive memory. So the answer to your question is, I don't know, man. Yeah. I don't know, man. But I just think that people, I'm just surprised that more people don't have ego enough to say, I don't want to be remembered this way. I don't want to be remembered at a 10th of what I was in my prime.
Yeah.
And some of these people are really a 10th. And there's some people out there who've got no choice. You know what I mean? By that, I mean, there's a lot of my peers, they can't do radio. They can't do television. They can't write novels like Frats available.
Yes.
They can't write screenplays and direct movies and do voiceover, all the things that I do. They can't act. They can't do Broadway. Okay. They have one thing they do, and that is they sing or they perform or they play. So they keep going out now instead of arenas, they're playing bars. they've got no choice. It's all they know how to do. But Kiss?
Yeah, they don't need the
more
money.
than God.
Yeah.
They got more money than God.
But that's a testament to you, though. And I will say this: I'm gonna give you a couple compliments. Number one is that you're multifaceted, kind of talented guy. You can get away with it. I don't need to do this. I got other avenues. But unfortunately, I don't see Ace making money doing anything else but, getting on the road and doing it. And I'm sure he's not alone. There are a lot of guys that need to be on the road because they have nothing else and they need to feed themselves. And they also know that's their life. That's their lifestyle. Been doing it for 50 years. So
yeah, well, some people really want to be our musicians, who want to play. They've got to play. I remember interviewing Steve Miller. I was doing hosting for VH1 Classic.
Yeah.
And so I was like, why are you doing this? He's like 70 something at the time. And he goes, I'd be doing this if it was just a club or a bar down the street. I love to play. I'm a guitar player and that's what I do. And I said to him, wow, you just made me realize something. I wanted to be a rock star. Yeah. Singing was a way for me to be a rock star. I love rock and roll. I love rock and roll, but it was more about wanting to be this thing than it was like, I just got to sing, man. I just got to sing. I just got to play. It was nothing like that. I just got to be famous and rich. Right. I got it. That I had to do.
That's a good Gene impression you just did.
Let me tell you something. Ace could well be one of those people. Yeah. He's a real guitar player.
Yeah.
He's a real musician. He's the one guy in Kiss who managed to go do solo stuff and actually have hits.
Yeah.
He's done it. He's shown I can do it without the band.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. I don't think anybody else, Gene wasn't able to do that. Paul's not able to do that. Peter was able to do it, but much to their aggravation, freaking Ace was able to have hit records and be successful without Kiss. So he doesn't, but I think he may be guilty of being an actual musician who's no matter how old he gets, he's got to play.
Yeah, true.
And the second compliment I want to throw your way.
Yeah.
I love it's kind of funny because the reenactment on those are hilarious. So on Reels, you do the breaking the bands.
Oh, they're great.
The acting that they have within the band. We broke some of that down. We've tagged you in some of the videos. We did one on Kiss.
We did the Kiss one.
It was like, dude, I don't think Gene is fist fighting in the fucking studio. Whoever play acted that, it was just hilarious. But
yeah, those things kill me. Yeah,
but they're great though, because I miss those VH1 behind the music. Easy to watch, disposable stuff, but it's fun. And talking about the music we love. So I find them interesting. And you do a great job on it.
Yeah, thanks. You talking about breaking the band on Reels. I did a whole bunch of them now, like 20 something of them.
Yep.
And interesting behind the scenes stuff. The hair bands or 80s bands, glam bands, people are most interested in those.
Of course.
Absolutely.
Yeah. When they do a Fleetwood Mac or they do, an Eagles.
Journey. I've seen.
They not as much. They're much more interested in the glam bands than the hair bands. So, I think that's kind of interesting.
Yeah.
That we still it's got, there's so, I call it the middle finger factor.
Yeah.
I say that the 80s and that era, we didn't have enough middle fingers, to quote Marilyn Manson. And rather than whining and complaining, it was very much F you. Yep. We're going to have a good time. We don't care what you say. We're not going to take it, and that was the overtone. And I think people looking back at it, they're in awe of it. That sort of attitude that
miss it.
That people had, and they miss it, and they romanticize it. Like, wow, what a defiant way! It was the Reagan era, man. It was conservative as hell back then, and yet we were like, "F you, we're gonna rock." Period.
It's funny because you even did a Twisted Sister one where you're breaking down your own fucking band. And when awesome. Guys broke up, I'm like, well, that's going to come off really a little bit biased, just a little bit. But
when they told me they were doing Twisted Sister, I said, wait a minute. I said, I'm narrating a show about me breaking up my own band. And he says, well, when you put it that way. And I said, well, at least put a camera in the studio and let me react. And I called the guys up. I said, guys, because we're all friends now.
Yeah.
Mark, me, Eddie, Jay, we got over that. It was the best part of reuniting to be friends again. I said, guys, don't hold back. There will be no retribution. I will not be upset. Just speak your minds. And they're going to put a camera on me and I'm just going to be reacting. But that was a great episode.
A lot of fun. But on that, and this is what I wanted to piggyback on, and kudos to you.
Yes.
So there was a documentary on the station house fire. So we're from Boston, if you can't tell from this accent.
Yeah.
And the hat.
Yeah. And the hat, the socks.
Yeah, that was huge.
Tom and I are always talking about the fact that easily could have been us. We easily could have been let's go see Great White. So we live in Boston, so we know a few people through distant stuff that, unfortunately were either injured or passed away in that fire. And then that documentary was so hard to watch, but I think everybody needs to. I had no idea about the role that you played. And honestly, I gained so much respect for you.
Yeah.
And, people sometimes, Dee Snider, he shoots his mouth. I don't give a shit what you say or do and like that stuff. The stuff that you did for that should overcome anything bad that you've ever said, because it was so commendable and what you did, and watching you then talk about the fact like it's bullshit. It's because this was a heavy metal concert or hair metal concert. It doesn't get the charity. And you're like, we called so-and-so. They didn't come. We called so-and-so. They didn't come. We called so-and-so. They wouldn't come. But you came and you got some people to come. And honestly, like this hit home. Like it was amazing. And you ought to be commended for it, buddy.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate that. Look, I played that place before the fire. And there by the grace of God, it could have been any of us.
Yep.
Going out on a weeknight to see some band you loved in the 80s.
Yep. Going
out with your wife or your girlfriend or your boyfriend and having a night out. Over 60 kids were orphaned that night.
Yep.
60
brutal.
Kids were orphaned. No one should lose their parents because they just wanted to see a band. Mm-hmm. And as I said in the thing, if it was U2.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh God.
Arena,
front page.
Pope would have been there. The Pope.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Oh my God. But Great White at a little hole in the wall club in Rhode Island, was treated like dirt, and the people were treated like dirt and ignored. It was heartbreaking. And as I said in the show, and I'm going to say it again, Troy Luccketta.
Yeah.
Tesla.
From Tesla.
Tesla.
These guys, Troy Luccketta and Tesla, but Troy, they weren't featured in there as much as they should have been. He pushed me in the right way because I had been trying. And like you said, I'll name names again. I called Aerosmith. No, they wouldn't do it. Bon Jovi. No, they wouldn't do it. Springsteen. No, they wouldn't do it. I was trying to get everybody excuses, and there was no excuses.
Yeah.
All right. This was a tragedy, and it needed a major, major effort. Yeah. And I gave up. I lost hope on doing something for those people until Troy Luccketta called me and said, we're putting something together. And I said, Troy, what do you got? And he said, well, Carmine Appice's going to come, and we got Striper, and and I was like, dude, I said, you know how much the burn care unit is a day? $75,000 a day. A day. They were having spaghetti dinners in that town to try and raise money for these poor people. I said, we can't raise enough money. And I tried to discourage him, and he said, and I said it on the show, Dee, somebody's got to do something. And at that moment, I just said, what am I doing? Somebody's trying to do something, and I'm discouraging them. Yeah. Right. I'm discouraging them. I said, you're right. Let's do something. And we were able, oddly, we put an odd group of people together, and I got VH1 to get involved, and I got Don Rich. I was on a reality show in Nashville, and John Rich and Gretchen Wilson, they said, we'll sing, we'll do it. Yep. Like all of a sudden, this thing started to evolve, and we had an arena, and the real, and I think we talked about it on the show, but for the listeners, people who haven't seen it, just know we raised several $100,000 that night, and that's great. But do the math. Over 100 people died. 100 people died, and there was so many burn victims. The money that they needed was so great. A few hundred grand wasn't going to go anywhere. But because of the show, it embarrassed the insurance companies, it embarrassed the lawyers, it embarrassed the judges, and they took action, and they paid out. They weren't paying.
Thank God.
They weren't paying out. and tens of millions of dollars came through to help these people whose lives were destroyed in that fire. So it's amazing. But thank you, Troy Luccketta, for smacking me in the face. It was on the phone, but it was a smack. It was like, dang, somebody's got to do something. I was like, okay, you're right. Let's do something. So thank you for respecting it. I just wish more people, when Springsteen's people said, Bruce doesn't do festivals. I said, hey, guess what?
Fuck that guy.
We'll sit in the audience. We'll step off. Bruce can do the whole thing, and we'll just sit in the side and we'll cheer for him. How about that?
Yeah.
Because if Bruce Springsteen would do it, that would have been a game changer.
Oh, absolutely.
Oh, no doubt.
They'd all fall in line to pat themselves on the back for being heroes after Bruce came on.
Yeah. Let's circle back real quick and try to and kind of put a happy face on this here, because we're talking about hair metal, which I wanted to get back to that because we're talking about the Breaking the Band and the Reels documentary. The nostalgia for that era is so huge right now. Paramount Plus just put together an incredible 3-part miniseries called I Wanna Rock.
Yep.
The 80s metal. It's fantastic. I'm sure. Have you seen it? Are you aware of it? Do you know? I mean,
I'm interviewed in it.
No, I know. Right. But I know you're in it, but I didn't know if you had seen the whole.
No, I watched it. Okay. And I couldn't get the song Madeline out of my head. I forgot how damn catchy that hook is. I'm walking around. I go, damn. That thing's stuck in my head again.
Yeah.
So, earworm. But yeah, it was really well done. But again, that interest and that curiosity about the decade of decadence, that era, it seems almost unreal when people look back at it.
Yep. It really does. And it's funny because we've talked about our buddy Eddie Trunk. We've hung out with him in person. He's been on our show a couple times. He really hates the term hair metal. Does that bother you? Is it glam? Is it 80s rock? Do you care? Does that bother you, the term hair metal?
Okay.
Because you have a show called Dee Snider's House of Hair.
I didn't name it, but
okay.
This is the thing. And this is the fact. And I've talked about this to Eddie. They all got to reel it in. Okay. Reel it in. None of the labels on any form of music was a compliment, and none of the artists liked the term. Jazz was a dismissive term given to a new sound by critics to try to sort of define it. Okay. Oh, it's jazzy. I mean, but that was a word. Okay. They didn't like the word jazz, but they were called jazz. Okay. Yeah. Hard rock became heavy metal. The metal bands hated the term. Led Zeppelin, the first, Black Sabbath. Black Sabbath were a blues jazz fusion band. Yep. Okay. No one liked the term heavy metal. The fans liked the terms, but if someone labels these grunge, the grunge bands hated the term grunge.
Yes.
Punk. The punk bands hated the term punk. They were just playing music. Yet for some reason, the critics have got to define it, segregate it. This is this music and that's that. Why can't it just be music?
Right.
Why did it have to be defined specifically? Why did it have a title? So all these titles like hair metal, glam metal, death metal, all these terms are being given by writers and critics to try to sort of pigeonhole and define something. So no one ever likes the name, but the fans, they're cool with it.
Yeah.
I love the term heavy metal. I thought it was cool. I'm an OG heavy metal guy. I was the first Sabbath album, first Grand Funk album, first Blue Cheer, first Led Zeppelin when they came out. Okay. I'm that guy. And it was just hard rock, but somewhere along the way, someone started calling heavy metal and I kind of liked it.
Yeah.
So I just accept the fans. They don't see the insult. They don't see the dig of hair metal, of heavy metal, the dismissiveness of calling it jazz, grunge. It's grunge rock. It's punky. They don't see that it's dismissive to the creators. It tries to say that what we're doing isn't real music. It's this music.
Right.
Okay. So anyway, fans like it. So I just sort of roll with it.
So speaking of hair metal, how do you think, kind of circling back to Kiss for a minute, how do you think Kiss transitioned into that role in the 80s? Like when they became a hair metal band, Asylum and Crazy Nights or whatever, you talked about how you had the first 7 Kiss albums. Did you kind of just say goodbye to Kiss when they took the makeup off and didn't really follow them for that? Or where are you in the non-makeup 80s Kiss?
I think it was the 4 solo records. I think it was on the 4 solo. I don't think it was, I didn't get that. And it seemed like a way to get more money out of me. No, like this idea. It was the first sign I got that, wait a second, I think they may be shaking me down. And I'm not going for it. The stuff's not really good. There's nothing really good, except Ace of Dom is pretty good. I'll get that one. Okay. You know what? It's weird because the hair, of the 80s and the makeup and all that stuff, it already existed in the early 70s.
Yeah.
It was a glam glitter rock.
Yes.
And the bands had hair and the
T-Rex and bands like that.
And the bands. Yep. And so all of a sudden, it's kind of weird that a Kiss and an Alice Cooper would have to fit in to the 80s scene, which they begat. And by the way, Alice begetting Kiss. Okay. But still, they were there in the 70s when it was glitter and glam. And now it's like, oh, we better puff it out a little more. Their hair was already big. Jufro, man, a Jufro, nothing like a Jufro. I'm half. So I got the,
you can say it.
You can say it.
I got the buoyancy. My dad was Jewish. My dad's actually a quarter, but I've got the Eastern European natural buoyancy. Never needed no Aquanet, baby.
There you go.
The real deal.
Now, I got to ask you before we move on, because I want to talk about your book. The last of this I wanted to get to, and that is I don't know what happened, because at some point you and Paul were pretty friendly.
We were.
And then you can't, and look, we know it because we follow the bands and podcasts, every little piece of news.
Hold on, let's pause that right there.
Okay.
I'm gonna come right back to it.
Go ahead.
I'm gonna, this is all I want. This is not this kind of show. People, I've been writing for over 30 years, writing screenplays, writing stories, writing journals, writing articles. I decided to write a novel. It's called Frats. It's a 70s coming of age story set in the world of suburban gang violence. Think of the Outsiders for the 70s. I can write. It's really good. People are saying it's a page turner. It's available everywhere. I promise it's not about rock and roll. It's not about me. It's a coming of age story based on actual events. It's available. Please check it out. I'm not going to live or die if you do or not, but I think you'll enjoy it. And it's what I'm doing now. Okay.
Frats.
Now, that's all I need to talk about.
No, it's okay.
No, we're going to get to that.
I don't want to talk. I don't need to talk more.
Okay.
Let's spend our time talking about the music.
All right, so great. I was going to ask you about the whole thing with Paul. Now, we know how sensitive he gets.
I don't understand why we're not friends. I don't understand why Gene, I'm friendly with Ace and I'm friendly with Peter. Okay. I don't understand why Gene and Paul, we're not friends. Why? We should be. We grew up in the same area. We're fans of the same music, the same bands, like bands like Slade, bands that Alice Cooper. We have the same musical taste. We don't drink. We don't do drugs. We're intelligent. We're book smart, particularly Gene and myself. I don't know about Paul, but I assume he is. But Gene shows it off more. But the point is, I've never understood why we're not friends. But probably because I will say something like they're not so crazy anymore or something like that. And they get very upset about it. But I'm very self-deprecating about myself as well. Yeah. So, it's just the way I am. And look, recently I agreed with something Paul said on social media.
Oh, we saw that.
There was quite a hubbub.
That was,
Yep. I agreed with something he said about young children and transitioning.
Yes.
And I rarely agree with him. Well, boy, the trans community tried to cancel me. That didn't work because I pushed back and I posted a letter on my Facebook page, which got international coverage because, and people were likening it to my speech in Congress in 85.
Yes.
Like, you can't, my pen is mighty and you cannot like, what, I'm transphobic. Because I disagreed with a point you said. Now, Paul apologized and backed away. I don't do that.
That's the difference.
Not wrong.
Yep.
Not when I'm not wrong. If I'm wrong, I'm the first. You've heard things me today say, you know what? In fairness, I recognize that and I accept that and I appreciate I pride myself on that. But if I didn't do anything wrong, I'm coming back at you hard. And, they backed off. I mean, the whole canceling Dee Snider thing didn't work out too well.
It's never worked out well.
It's never worked out. You're uncancelable.
Yeah.
I'd like to think that, and I've done pretty well keeping myself from being canceled over the years. People wish I would just shut up and go away, but no, I'm not.
One other thing I want to jump on before I hand it over to Tom. So we have a mutual friend, and I have to bring him up because we get a kick out of it. You were on Z-Rock with our good friend, Joey Casada, who comes on all the time. So Joey, who's reached out to you recently, and we can talk about this afterwards, but Joey is like, oh, you're getting Dee on? You got to make sure you tell him that I said hello. And I'm like, dude, he ain't going to remember you. You're a friggin' bozo. But we love him. He's a fucking funny ass guy. But I wonder if you have any stories of your time when you met him in Z-Rock and all that other stuff, if you remember that time.
Z-Rock, it was such a clever show.
Yeah.
And it was kind of a scratch your head going, how did they get a show? Because they weren't like famous, but it was kind of that premise that they were struggling rock band at night and playing children's parties and by day, which is really who they were. But it was really cleverly done. I had a lot of fun doing the show. And it's a shame it only lasted 2 seasons because I think as a premise, it had a lot more to offer. It really did.
Yeah. It was very underrated. When I first, we all became friends with him and we started watching him like, holy shit, is it Dee Snider on there? Holy shit. How'd they get him? But it was actually well written. It was funny too. It just,
a lot of it was improvised though, which is a credit to the cast, to Joey and all those, and Paul, and everybody. David, a lot of it was very, like this, here's a setup, which you don't see so much anymore. And that's kind of a Arrested Development thing or something where people they set up the premise and then allow the actors to riff. And so there was a lot of improv and riffing going.
Ball busting.
I remember when I did you see this ring, take it from my hand, in the rowboat with Paulie. Yeah. That was something I just came up with, which it turned out to be a pretty funny bit.
It was great. Go ahead, Tom.
So, all right, as we kind of get ready to land the plane here with you, Dee, and your time, we truly appreciate it. So I want to talk to you about something that Zeus and I talked about where it was first announced and kind of compare it to what other bands are doing, specifically Kiss. We always like to bring everything back to Kiss. But the incredibly unique thing that Metallica is doing with this tour, where they're playing 2 nights, different opening bands, completely different set lists. Something that no band really would even ever really entertain, especially a band that's been around for 40 years. And we likened it to the long standing bitch and moan session that Kiss fans have about how they don't change their set list. And then you look at a band like Metallica that could easily do what Kiss is doing. And they're like, nope, we're going to do something that you've never even seen before. 2 shows, 2 set lists, no repeats.
Yeah. Like over 40 different songs.
Over 40 different songs.
In 2 nights.
Thoughts on that entire thing, Dee, and what kind of undertaking would that be for a band like Metallica?
Well, I wasn't aware they were doing that, and credit to them, but I think it's kind of self-serving, and it really only appeals to a small percentage of the crowd.
Okay.
The majority of the people going to these shows, and not just Metallica, Kiss, and Twisted, and they're there for the hits.
Sure.
The majority, the percentage of people who know, like the deeper cuts, and are willing to accept not hearing Enter Sandman one night.
Exactly. That's right.
That's a very small bunch of people. And when Twisted first reunited, it was for that New York Steel show Eddie Trunk put on.
Yeah.
And the guys made the set list and they wanted to put some deep cuts. They put some stuff from the bar days in there.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, it was the first show back together and I didn't want to make any waves. And I remember we played those songs and it was just dead and just about 8 hands like, You could count the hands. Like, they're playing Comeback, which was never on an album. It was one of our big club songs. Yeah. And after that, the guy said, all right, no more putting that stuff in the show, because it's really self-serving. It caters to a very small part of the audience, unless you're buying both. And that's maybe the idea. Shake them down, get them to buy both tickets so they're hearing every song because they're diehards. But Metallica's audience has grown so far beyond just hardcore fans.
Yeah.
They have hits.
Yep.
And I hearken back to when Iron Maiden toured. I remember they played the entire new album, Straw Dogs.
Oh, yeah.
They refused to play any of the hits.
Yep.
Audience was furious. Bruce was yelling at the crowd because they weren't getting into it. It was self-serving, okay, to do that. And the next year they came back and it was A Number of the Beast 2. And it was like all, the biggest hits only, because they had to make up for that. So I don't know how great, I'm guilty of playing the same set over and over and over. I'm guilty. Unfortunately, you guys, and I'm pointing to you too, and people like you are the minority, not even close to the majority. You're 10%, 5%, 1% of the crowd who really want to hear those deep cuts and will savor it when they go into those songs.
I want to hear Kissing Time from Kiss.
Kissing Time! That was on my first album.
I know. That's how you... That's porn music.
So
that's actually Love Theme, but that's okay.
Oh, Love Theme, Kissing, wrong song. That was two? Oh, that was the wrong song.
So Theme from Kiss.
So then you agree then with what Kiss is doing. So we're the outliers bitching about their set list.
I'm just being honest.
No, and I agree.
I love hearing this.
And fair. And that, yes, the hardcore that would love to hear those extra songs, those special songs. The majority aren't hardcore, and they are filling up that arena. They're filling up that festival. They're here to hear the big songs. And that's when they light up, and you can see their reaction. I would often joke, okay, we did the two big ones. You can go home now. I would say to the crowd, go home, get an early start. You beat I'll tell you to the audience, you can leave now because you beat the rush at the parking lot. Now it's time for the real fans who still, because I do We're Not Gonna Take It, I Want to Rock. Like, We're Not Gonna Take It. We do like 7th song in the set. And people would think, and I'd say, good night. And I'd walk off and I'd come back out. But there's people who say, why aren't they saving that for like the 3rd encore? No, let's get it over with. If that's what you're here for, I don't want you to wait and stand around bored.
Wow. Okay.
I'd rather have you leave and make room for the other people who are really into this.
Okay.
Wow, that's interesting. You're giving us a perspective, because that's what we ask all the Kiss fans that have listened to our show, they will come back and say the number one thing they hate the most is the set list. Yeah. Because we've heard the same. Unfortunately, Kiss has been kind of, at this point since 2012, after they released Monster, played a couple songs and said, the fans don't like these new songs. Fuck it. We're just going to be doing all the classics again. It's been really the same set list, maybe about 30 songs rotating at most.
And you know what? This is, okay, I'm giving you insight for sure.
I know. That's why I'm loving hearing this. Please bitch about this.
I get insight. All of us are dealing with it. I tell people, I have a whole stage rap that I've done. You can see it on my For the Love of Metal Live. I do it. But basically, I said there are people out there in the audience who have problems with urination or have constipation. There are a few words that will cure your problem.
Oh.
This one's from the new album. All of a sudden, everybody's got, oh my God, I got to go to the bathroom. They're running for the bathroom. This one's off the new record. You sons of bitches. We spend, and we see, I said, and we see you leaving. We see you leaving. I saw Led Zeppelin at Madison Square Garden touring Physical Graffiti. The album was delayed. So the album hadn't come out yet. They said, this one's called Kashmir. And half the audience left to go to the bathroom.
Oh, Jesus.
Because at Madison Square Garden, let me tell you what it sounded like. Went on for days. You want a beer? I'll get 2 beers and a burger. But, all right, if you don't know the song, you're just lost. People leave. Okay, and I've heard Elton John talk about doing a new album. He was nervous about the new tour. Why? I have a new record.
Yeah.
Every time I play new songs, the audience just glazes over.
He's right.
Elton John, Billy Joel, stop writing new music. Why? Because people didn't care.
That's what Paul says. That's what
Paul and Gene said about not putting out a new album.
Paul McCartney says, every time I play a new song, I got to give him a little sugar. I got to give him I'll play a new song and I quickly play like one of the biggies.
Let it be.
He's afraid. Paul McCartney's afraid of losing the audience.
Imagine.
It's a real thing.
Yeah.
So, and some people
That's
just,
great.
you know, when the new music isn't selling nearly as good as your old music, you kind of say, okay, is it self-serving?
Yeah.
For me to stand up there. I'm doing it for me. So if you're going to do it for yourself, Metallica, you're going to do it for yourself. Just own it and say, hey, we write this music. We love this music. We want to share it with you. We hope you like it too. But we're doing it for us first and foremost.
All right, Dee. So I'll end it with this. So what you just said, you know, they want to hear the stuff, the old stuff. They don't want the new stuff. Everybody leaves. Doesn't that make it right that they let Tommy and Eric put on the makeup of the vision of the original Kiss that people are familiar with rather than give them new characters? Don't you see the logic there then?
What do you mean the logic that they keep on the old makeup?
That the crowd and the fans are used to that and they don't want to get into a whole new, like, oh, now it's a new Fox and a new.
I see what you're saying. You ran rings around me logically. So I understand the point you're making.
And also money wise, the images sell. Let's be blunt. It's money.
They're playing the old music and they have the old look to go with the old music. You know what? Look, I started by saying that I accepted that people say this is our Kiss. So I see that. And as an old fan, I just don't like seeing them wearing Peter's and Ace's makeup, you know, and Tommy doing Ace's moves too. I mean,
that's the only part that I'll agree with you with.
Is Eric. He doesn't sound, he's not playing remotely the way Peter played. He's Eric Carr on the drums and as he'll, you know, but Tommy played in a tribute band. Come on, man. And he's just doing what he did in the tribute band. But do
you think it's Tommy or do you think, like I do, I think it's Paul, you do it like this. The one thing that bugs me is he does the alive solo, Ace solo as his solo and he shoots stuff in the middle. Like they could give him a new gimmick to do that. He doesn't have to copy Ace on that.
Exactly.
That's the stuff.
Take it too far. Hey, they're not alone. So I'm going to finish.
Yeah.
And I'm going to finish with a question. Leave a question for you guys.
Uh-oh. Go ahead.
All right. Leave you thinking. It's not really a question. It's sort of, you know, one of those doesn't have an answer. But, you know, Foreigner's out there now.
Okay.
Foreigner's doing a farewell tour.
Oh, Foreigner. I thought you said foreigners are out there.
No.
Where's this one going, Dee?
Foreigner, the band.
The band.
They're not outside your door. Foreigner, the band is out there. They've been touring.
Yeah.
Yes.
They're doing incredible business.
Yes.
I know where this is going.
Arenas.
The guy from Hurricane is singing. Yes.
I know where this
There's
is.
not one original member in the band.
Thank you. I knew where this is going. Yep.
They're doing a farewell tour.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know.
which, by the way, prepares us for the reunion of the not original band.
Yes.
So we're actually, if the band of Foreigner that's not any original members retires and come back, it is sort of a reunion. All right. So we are celebrating a reunion of the band. They sound exactly like Foreigner.
Yeah.
Kelly Hansen sings exactly like Lou Ram.
Yes, he does. Yep.
Like the record, man.
Yep.
It's uncanny how good they do it. My question is, how pissed off is Gene Simmons? How that Foreigner is able to do this and he can't figure out how to get out of the damn suit and somebody else in there. He was talking about he wants in the worst way to have Kiss to continue on without him, but because their personalities, the explanation is this: Foreigner is a corporate rock band.
That's right.
They're like Pink Floyd, they're like Kansas, they're like Journey's borderline on that, but they're like Styx. They're these bands. People know the songs. They don't really ever identify with
the members.
The band,
yeah, they're like a faceless band. Yeah.
It was about the songs.
That's right.
Okay. When you Kiss and you have such strong images, that's why you can't slink away and let somebody else put on your boots.
So 10 years from now, there's not going to be a fake Dee Snider up there with a fake Twisted Sister?
Hey, I'm embracing AI in the biggest freaking way. I'm thinking AI Twisted Sister record. People want to know Twisted record. AI can do it for me.
There you go.
There you go. There you
AI
go.
robot to get up there and do my thing. God bless it. I'm gonna be living my dream and just off retire somewhere.
That's so
and
cool.
It'll just continue on.
Well, that's a perfect way to wrap this up. Dee, this has been incredible. Thank you so much for your time. He's Dee Snider. You know him. You love him. Twisted Sister. Check out his brand new book, Frats. It's out there. Frats,
Awesome.
based on true events. Check it out. Dee, we cannot thank you enough. This has been incredible. Thank you so
Been an honor.
much, buddy.
Okay, and tomorrow I'm going to check and see what Google has to say. What Google alerts I'm getting. As a matter of fact, I probably won't even look at my email.
You're better off.
Oh no!
Thank you,
something
Dee.
I just said during the show, my management is going to freak out. So
You'll be fine.
Dee, my boy, I heard you say. Oh man, yeah. You shouldn't give me a microphone, man. Shut up and give me the mic. Shut
That's
up
what
and
we
take
want.
the mic away from me.
That's what we
Never
want, buddy.
take that mic away from you. No.
All right,
we need
guys,
that
thank
voice.
you so much, and
Thank
for all the
you.
respect too. I appreciate you guys.
Thank you.
Tom, that was Dee Snider. What you think?
Fantastic. So conversational, obviously open, obviously opinionated. That's why we were so thrilled to have him. We talked about everything from Kiss specific things to bands not ready to hang it up to tracks and hair metal and this, just fantastic stuff. What an incredible guest, as we knew it would be.
We're batting 1,000 still, Tom,
Yeah, it's amazing.
with our guest. And we taped with him right away. We dropped it as soon as he got on because we know he's a busy guy. But we continued for a good 10, 15, 20 minutes afterwards. He is an amazing conversationalist. We sat and we were going back and forth. We could tell, when you're talking to somebody and you're interviewing, sometimes they're just waiting for their turn to talk. It was a conversation. He engaged. He sat back and listened. He thought things through. And as he said a couple times, shit, I hear what you're saying now. and we had some fun talk about the whole makeup. He talked about his relationship with Paul and Gene. We all know that there's fucking issues there. He didn't hide anything. I can't wait to hear your feedback because there was so much discussed and so much that to break down and think about. We hope you enjoyed it. We know we did. And we'll probably have him back on again, but we have to do him a favor because he did us a favor. Please go out and seek his book.
Yes.
Frats.
Yep.
It's out right now. We haven't had a chance to read it, but I read the reviews and read the backstory on it. It looks fucking awesome.
Yep.
If anybody has an opinion and can tell a story, it's Dee Snider. And this is perfect for us guys. Take a look. You can buy it on Amazon. You can go to DeeSnider.com. Frats. Take a look at the book. Go and support artists like Dee and go and find his book and purchase it along with the rest of his products that he has out there. Obviously, Twisted Sister stuff.
Yep, absolutely. Yeah, definitely check out the book Frats, based on true events. Again, Dee, strong opinions. That's why we wanted him on here. And I will say this from a personal note, meeting or, quote unquote, meeting Dee, spending some time with him, the parts that you heard, and then obviously before and after the recording, I have a different and a newfound respect for him. Because my opinions of Dee were always based on the things that I read in the snippets and quotes that I read about him. But talking to him and sharing stories and sharing laughs with him and him explaining himself, I'm telling you, it really opened up my eyes to the kind of guy that this guy is. And I never thought I would say that.
Yeah, we mentioned it to our friend Eddie Trunk and said, hey, we just had a mutual guy on that we all love. And that's Dee Snider. He's like, yeah, I'm sure Dee had something to say. Like, yeah. And he kept hinting at it. He's like, oh, my publicist is going to say, what do you do? But God bless him. Whether you agree with him or you don't, I love hearing him talk. He's got an opinion. He ain't scared to share it. And I mentioned it to my brother. I guess I've not been paying attention too much of it. Apparently, he has a bigger rivalry and thing that he goes back and forth with, and that's with Ted Nugent. Were you aware?
Oh, yeah. Oh, God, yeah.
I'm like, I wasn't paying attention. He's like, they both shit on each other, one far right, one far left.
Yep.
And it's fun listening to these two musicians go at it.
It's crazy. I know. But Dee was fucking fantastic. We were honored and thrilled to have him. And boy, did he not let us down. It was amazing. And we hope you guys feel the same.
Yeah, Tom, what we do next is we go to question of the week. We got one?
Yeah, we do. This comes from Junior Vintage on Instagram. And his question is simple. Based on last week's episode, we talked about KISS producers. If you had your choice, which producer would you want to see work with KISS?
All right. You know, part of me wants like someone that would know the band and what they really grew up with. And like we just did a Foo Fighters album, somebody like Dave Grohl or Butch Vig, or go back. I thought Toby Wright was fine. I don't know what he could get out of him now again. And then finally, the other one was Bob Rock. See what he could do with them. Right. Those are ones that come to mind. Other than that, I'll throw in another one that I like, but I think he's since passed, and that's Martin Birch. Love all his albums. Love all his stuff that he does.
Okay. I'm going to go with one that might not be, something that you'd think about, especially in terms of KISS, but an artist that has worked with everybody from Johnny Cash to Mick Jagger to the Chili Peppers to Slayer to AC/DC to the Ghetto Boys, Run DMC, and that is Rick Rubin. He has a way of taking a band and pulling them together to give you something. He just had, everything. I mean, for God's sakes, he brought Metallica back from the depths of hell after Saint Anger with Death Magnetic, which was a phenomenal album. The production wasn't great, so I guess I hold that against him. But he's produced, Rage Against the Machine, Justin Timberlake, U2, Linkin Park, Poison. I mean, he's been with everybody. And he's got a unique style, and he's got a unique way of making these bands really kind of gel and put something together. And I think somebody that's really kind of creative and innovative like him working with KISS, I mean, could be a clash, could be successful. I don't know.
He's done that big new project with Paul McCartney and the Beatles.
Yep.
So he's got the Beatles.
Yep.
He's got Johnny Cash.
Yeah.
And he's got Bushwick Bill.
I mean, when you have the Ghetto Boys and Johnny Cash and Public Enemy, I mean, with
lyrics like this year Halloween fell on a weekend.
Exactly. Robbing little kids for bags.
Me and Ghetto Boys are trick-or-treating. Bushwick Bill.
Coming next on ARC. We can't be stopped by the Ghetto Boys.
Yes.
Anyway,
Tom, where can people find us?
Go to our website.
Go to him.
Exactly.
Go to him.
ShoutOutLoudcast.com. That's your one-stop shop for everything. You can find all of our episodes there, all the Shout It Out Loudcast episodes, Dorm Damage, Album Review Crew. We just dropped the Foo Fighters Wasting Light, Zeppelin Chronicles. You can comment directly from the website, as mentioned earlier. You can also click on our Amazon shopping link, our social media links, our Patreon link. And again, when you send us a message through the website, it comes to us in the form of an email. And please, if you'd like to use the regular email, it's shoutitoutloudcast@gmail.com. We read every single email. Again, we don't read them all on the show because we don't want 4 hours of feedback, but we do read every email that you send us. And in terms of emails and in terms of our question of the week, please, if you want your question of the week read, or if you want to be part of our upcoming mailbag episode that we do every year, send those questions to our email, shoutitoutloudcast@gmail.com. And of course, social media, X, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, all that good stuff. We're on all those, and our wonderful Patreon family that we love to thank every week. You guys rock, and we're always proud to say that we are part of the Pantheon Podcast network of shows.
Tom, people can DM us on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. Make sure you're subscribing and watching our YouTube channel. We're going to be adding some more video clips on, so take a look at that. Give us one of those 5-star child reviews. That's where you go on Apple Podcast, give a 5-star review, and we'll read that on the show. So please, thank you for those. It's a great way to help the show. What's the ways to help us grow and continue to get great guests like Dee Snider? That's become a Patreon member. That's getting some of our merch at our website, shoutitoutloudcast.com, shoutitoutloudcast.com. Go to our Amazon store on our website. Give us a 5-star child review. All these things are helpful ways to help the show grow. And you can always email us at shoutitoutloudcast@gmail.com, shoutitoutloudcast@gmail.com. Please continue to support the show. We really appreciate it. And we'd like to end on famous last words, which are Kiss lyrics. Tom, what do you got?
All right. Honey, don't put your man behind his years. And baby, stop crying all your tears.
Tonight, I want to see it in your eyes. Feel the magic. There's something that drives me wild. Dee Snider, Tom, Kiss Army, Loudcasters, thank you.
Guys, you guys are amazing. Thank you so much for all your support. Dee Snider, thank you so much for the time. It was incredible talking to you. And we hope you guys love the episode as much as we love the interview. And Zeus, as always, my friend, thank you.
Peace out, Girl Scout.
Well, I didn't know you wanted to get involved with the discussion, Mr. Helper.